very different kind of big buck deer story, one you're not going to want to miss. Coming up next on The Journal. From every point on the compass, from the woodlands and fields and waterways, come thrills and excitement and challenges enough for every man, woman, and child. These are our adventures, our stories of the wild places, both near and far. All of the hits, the misses, the memories. Our time spent living the wild life. Join us. Venture out into the world at the end of the asphalt. The world of the Wilderness Journal. The Journal is underwritten by
Algoma Country, Ontario, Canada. It's that scenic, that remote, that calm. 100-page travel guide available at fishalgoma.net. And by Heinz Propane, with locations in Mount Pleasant, Clare, Beaverton, and Harrison, Michigan. Heinz Propane provides residential and commercial services throughout the state. Heinz Propane, your hometown propane provider. And by the Ina Store in Tustin, Michigan. Ina Store features Case IH and a full line of Kubota tractors and RTVs, as well as parts, service, and accessories. The Ina Store in beautiful downtown Ina, Michigan. And by Trigger Time Outfitters in Big Rapids, Michigan. With a selection of firearms, archery, fishing, apparel, service, and more. Trigger Time Outfitters, Big Rapids, Michigan.
And by viewers like you. Thank you. Hi, friends, and welcome. Today, we're going to do something that is, for us at least, very, very different. We're going to tell you a story, what is extensively a big deer story, a story about a white-tailed deer, and it's a big deer. And I need to tell you right up front a couple of things. First of all, this story is about my friend and camera guy, our man Bill Funk. Now, second, I should tell you that up until now, Bill and another one of our good friends, Brandon Juries, were, in my opinion, tied for the most missed shot opportunities on our program. Things they've shot at or should have shot at, they were all tied up. Remember Brandon's bear hunt? His arrow fell off the string. I was watching the bear and I kept hearing this little voice saying, "Help." How about Bill's predator hunt they have on TV?
Yeah, go. You're hit in the middle of it.
One's coming right at you on the ice.
No, let him come.
Let him come. Let him come.
Sometimes seems like no matter what we do,
Anytime. Bat. Bat.
or maybe you saw Brandon's elk hunt.
Get another arrow.
Or maybe Bill's gator hunt.
Go ahead.
All right at the water line, left-hand side, nice and easy, Bill.
Over him a foot.
As I said, I didn't count them all, but as far as I was concerned, they were pretty much tied up for having missed a lot of things. That is until I took Brandon bow fishing in Kentucky again this summer.
Pretty close.
That was your game face right there? Put somebody else's game face on.
Over here fast.
Is your arm getting tired?
Nope.
You're reeling that string up?
Nope.
Yeah, you're all right then.
I'm not talking much, Tom.
Oh, I know it's going quiet up there.
Yeah, they kind of had a...
Yeah, Brandon may have edged ahead a little bit in the count, but I have to tell you something about Bill. He's no quitter. And lastly, it's like I said in the beginning, this story is actually about a really big white-tailed buck. And I know how that affects some people. So if you're one of those haters, you just can't stand it, then you might as well turn the channel right now, because I truly don't want to hear it, and I'm sure Bill doesn't either. That being said, I'm your host, Kyle Randall. This is my Wilderness Journal, and the truth of the matter is, this story actually started over a year ago. When this all started, I was actually in Wyoming on an antelope hunt. I looked, and that, friends, is what we were looking for.
Got him.
That one, we nailed that one. Watch him. He's done, right? He ain't going nowhere. Take him home. We were actually just wrapping up that antelope hunt out in Wyoming. We just got our stuff in the truck and we were literally heading for home. We weren't 10 miles out of town when the phone rang, and it was Bill. He was up in Alberta, Canada on an archery whitetail hunt with Wayne Zapp.
Hey Kyle, it's Bill. Hey, you gotta see this buck. I just saw him, I got a picture of him, and he is huge.
Yeah, so did you get him? You at least get him on camera?
No, didn't get him on camera. But I have a picture from a trail cam that I can send you.
No.
Yeah, trust me, he's huge.
Judging by that grainy trail camera picture, this was indeed an awesome buck. Bill was right. That's the last I heard about it, though, until this year. I'm back out west, this time having a great elk hunt. My shot angle was slightly blocked by that cow's head, but when she lifted her chin... Friends, that's a lot of elk. Yeah, that was a great hunt, but believe it or not, I was driving that elk up to the processing plant the next day when the phone rang again, and it was Bill again, and he was going on. He said he saw that same buck, only this time it was even bigger.
Hey Kyle, you're not gonna believe this. I saw him again. Yeah, I saw him again.
And what happened?
I didn't get a shot, but he was about 75 to 100 yards away. But I did see him again, and he's way, way bigger.
That, friends, is an awesome buck. A monster, in my opinion, something over 200 inches. A deer you're likely to never see all of your life in the woods, and to see it twice, 2 years in a row like that, well, I'm here to tell you, that's something that just never happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, I came home without him again.
Now, you didn't miss a shot. You didn't actually take a shot. You just couldn't get close enough to get a shot, right?
Right, yeah. He come out of the woods at 105 yards.
100. I don't have a 105-yard pin.
Yeah, I don't have that pin, so he stepped out, so it was amazing to see a deer of that quality with my own eyes, let alone, a picture.
Yeah, other than a year ago, have you ever even seen a 200-inch deer in the wild?
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
I've only ever seen one 200-inch deer in the wild.
No. And I immediately texted Wayne and said, hey, I just saw the biggest deer in my life. He's over 200 inches. And Wayne texted back,
quit drinking.
Whatever.
Yeah, quit drinking. Quit drinking.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And I said, seriously, it's the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life. I said, it's the one on the picture.
Now,
but bigger.
Yeah, the same one from last year.
Yeah.
Same buck.
Same buck.
Now, how long did it take you to get back to the truck and call me, when I was out on the elk hunt?
As soon as it got dark. And we're 2 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't dark when you called me. I'm thinking it was faster than that.
Yeah,
I think you did some sprinting.
It was really quick, as fast as I get
You were awful excited, and for good reason, when you called me.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, did you ever see him again?
No.
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
I had 2 more days to watch for him. We sat at the same stand, and he never came back out.
So now you get back on the plane, you fly home.
Yeah.
I saw this giant buck that I've been dreaming now, having nightmares about.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
But
I got some great pictures from my phone to the TV, because we put it on the TV to see it.
Yeah.
And I took a bunch of pictures with my, with my phone.
Yeah.
And then we had the trail cam photos. I felt sick to my stomach, but at least we had the video from the phone.
And speaking of sick, now I need to get just a little bit personal. All through this hunting season, in fact, you've been fighting a condition of sickness, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So the end of July, I woke up one morning and had double vision. And I thought, oh, must be time for new glasses.
Too much bowling league.
You know, something. I don't know. And so I made an appointment with an optometrist, and they said, oh, yeah, your prescription's changed. 2 weeks later, I'm still seeing double. Can't figure out what's going on, so I make another appointment with a different optometrist. Thought, well, maybe it just something happened. That optometrist said, yeah, I agree with everything, but I think we need to change your prism. I'm like, okay, whatever. So week later, I got new glasses and still got double vision. Went to my primary care physician. My right eyelid started to droop. And he said, something else is going on. I'm going to send you to a specialist tomorrow. He booked me right then and there. I went to another optometrist surgeon. And he kept messing with my eyes and messing with my eyes, and my eyelids started to droop. And he says, I got good news and I got bad news. He says, the good news is your eyes are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with your eyes. And I said, well, what's the bad news? He says, I am 95% you have a disease called myasthenia gravis.
Okay. Wait, say that again. Myasthenia gravis?
Yep, myasthenia gravis.
And
It's
if I said
MG for short.
Yeah, well, if I said that wrong, anybody that's got it, I'm sorry. But
Yeah,
that's not
yeah.
something anybody hears of very often. I've never.
It's one of the rarest diseases in the world. 200 people a year in the entire world will ever get this disease, and yeah, so that happened. August 20th was when I was officially diagnosed by a neuromuscular doctor in Grand Rapids. No doubt I had the disease.
Okay, so now when you called me, you were pretty shook up. And I did go and look up, because I hadn't even heard of this. I had looked it up, and I did see where there was one treatment, one medicine for this, and then what?
Correct. So with myasthenia gravis, there is no cure, but there's one medicine in the entire world for the disease, and it's called predostamine or mestinon. So my primary care physician put me on it immediately. It took about 10 days for it to kick in, but the double vision's still there. I have that 24 hours a day, but my eyelids went back up into my head, basically. Myasthenia gravis is a lack of control of your muscles. So my brain tells my nerves to move my muscles. Between the nerve and the muscle, there's a little pathway that gets blocked by this disease. So I cannot tell my brain cannot tell my eyelids to open. They just won't.
Okay,
They just automatically close.
The medicine they gave you,
Yep, helped.
it did help. It did have some effect, at least enough to get you back on a plane and back up to Alberta.
Yeah,
Because-
that was my main concern.
Well, that and living. I mean, your wife, your children, all those other little things.
I planned this hunt for a whole year. I have less than a week, 8 days before I go to Alberta on the hunt that I've been waiting for a year to shoot, hopefully, this big buck.
Yeah, that you
And
saw a year ago.
I can't open my eyes. They just don't open.
So
we
you did
worked
get
hard
this
at
medicine.
getting. Yeah, we worked really hard at getting the medicine in us, getting it in me, and trying to get somewhat a normal life. I take a lot. I've never taken a pill in my life. Up until the point that I left for Canada, I was working out 6 days a week.
Bottom line, everything else was ready, so you decided to go.
Yeah.
And the
Finally.
pills helped enough that you went.
I went. It wasn't fun, but I went.
Oh, it wasn't fun to see a 200 and some inch deer.
It was great to see a 200-inch deer, but
Even
it's
double.
It's double. It's
Yeah.
tough when
What
you
did
say
I
two
tell
of
you?
them.
What did I tell you when you left? Tape one eye shut and shoot the deer in the middle.
Yep, exactly. As long as I have one eye closed, it doesn't matter which eye. Everything's perfect. I can see great.
So you go up there and you actually see the deer again. But again, you don't get a shot, or you did. You missed, or you just didn't get a shot again. We fast forward to you come home, and you called me. I was out elk hunting there, and you told me, again, I didn't get a shot. And when I get home from elk hunting, you're more or less waiting for me. You're even more concerned. The medicine they've given you is starting to not work, or at least not work well. And now they want to do what?
When I left, we were trying to get an appointment with a thoracic surgeon. And when I got home, the thoracic surgeon just luckily had an opening. Normally it takes a few months to get in, but I literally got in 2 days after I
Okay,
got
well,
home.
let me back you up. Thoracic surgeon for what exactly?
My daughter, who's a nurse, did a lot of studying for me. She recommended through her searches and her study that the only thing that seems to help people with myasthenia gravis is a thymectomy.
Thymectomy? I probably should have stayed through my second year of pre-med, but I didn't. That's a what?
Yep. So there's a thing called the thymus gland in your chest. It's
That I've heard
underneath
of.
your breastbone. Okay, it looks like a letter H. So it comes down each side, and then there's one little branch that comes across the top of your heart. So it can be done arthroscopically, but it's pretty dangerous. And an MG patient already has trouble with breathing because they can't control their arms, their legs, or their diaphragm, or their eyes. Them are the 4 things or 5 things that they can't control for. The problem is you have to crack your chest. So just like open heart surgery, they're going to cut me from here to here and open me up and then take my thymus gland out.
Okay.
Now, there is no cure for the disease, but they have found that when they take the thymus gland out, that it improves your vision, it improves your eyes, your arms, your legs, your diaphragm, and hopefully the fatigue.
So we're all in on this, I guess. So we're going to do this surgery, and it's scheduled for the 6th of October. And
So Wayne Zaff called me and said, listen, I know what you're going through, you've been struggling, and I want you to come back.
Want to know if you can check your schedule and come back and give them another try. Talk it over with your wife and see what it looks like.
so now you've got surgery scheduled for Monday.
Yep.
It's Friday before the Monday, and he's saying, "Hey, get on a plane."
Yep. So
And I got to tell you, you called me. You
Yeah.
called me Friday night.
Yep.
And again, I have to apologize. I wasn't all that understanding and supportive because I think I said something like, "Duh, do I need to send you airfare?
yeah, no. it
I'll
was-
buy you a ticket."
Yep. So I called the doctor and he said, you know what, quality of life's better.
And even your surgeon was all in on you going.
Yeah. So we get up onto camp October 5th. I got there at 3:30
Yeah.
and then threw our stuff in the trailer real quick, got our bows out. I had some medicine in me and went to the range.
Tried to shoot.
Tried to shoot. By the time I got done shooting, everybody's looking at me and saying, you sure you can shoot?
Well, and understand, you
It's
called
horrible.
me and you were pretty shook up. And I don't think I'm talking out of school when I say you were having trouble shooting even 20 or 30 yards.
Before I left, when I had my medicine really regulated, I was shooting 60 yards religiously because I knew there was a chance that this deer was going to stay out there.
So being the understanding guy I am, I don't want to
Yeah.
get closer.
Get
Yeah.
closer. Get way closer.
So friends, that's exactly what they attempted to do. Wayne took him out, showed him the trail camera, the trail crossing into the rye field, and then showed him the climber they set up just yards away. Now it was on Bill. And that first night in the stand, Bill saw a buck. A nice buck, but not the buck. So the following morning, back out to the stand in the cool darkness, Bill got an arrow on his bow and got ready, and something was moving.
This has been the hardest 10 weeks of my entire life. First of all, I have to thank my wife and my kids because they know the passion I have for this. This is the most passionate thing I'm about besides my family and my job. But I was diagnosed about 7 weeks ago with a disease called myasthenia gravis. It's uncurable, but there are some treatment options that I have, and next Monday I'm going in for a thymectomy, which is they're gonna split my chest wide open and sorry. I'm gonna take out my thymus gland to help me with my symptoms. One of the symptoms I have is double vision, so I see double everything. But luckily I can close one eye and everything's perfect. I just shot that deer at like maybe 10 yards. So thankful, so thankful. Wayne Zaft again, I can't say enough about you, man. Thanks for letting me come back up here. Just a month ago I was here and I saw this deer, first time it's ever been seen. Nobody's ever seen it. I told Wayne, I texted him, I said, I just saw the biggest buck of my life. He's over 200 inches. Wayne didn't believe me, of course, because he hadn't seen it. I had video of it. Unfortunately, when I got home, somehow the video got corrupted on the camera. But I do have cell phone pictures and stuff like that, so hopefully I can get some of that on footage here. But, thanks everybody, thank you. Thanks so much. Tracy, Hunter, Nicole, Courtney, Kayla. Thanks for letting me pursue my passion. Thanks. I'm gonna give him a little while and make sure he's down, but I know he is. Thanks, Kyle, Randall, for letting me document all this stuff. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks.
It was time to try and get down safely and go look.
There's the arrow. You guys. Okay, here's the stand. Okay, I'm right here. I just look over and I see white belly. He's right there. He's 40 yards away. Oh my God, look at the horns. Oh, it's him. It's him. For sure it's him. Holy cow. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I can't calm down. Oh my gosh. I want to thank everybody for this opportunity, and again, my family and Kyle and Wayne and his entire operation here. I'm Bill Funk on assignment for the Wilderness Journal. This morning I went out, got in the stand at 6:30, climbed up the tree, was sitting nice and quiet at 20 to 7, and at 20 after 7 this one walks in. So it's been a whirlwind of a month, and I can't thank Wayne enough, because he didn't have to let me come back up here. Thank God willing and him by my side, this all came together for a reason. Wayne had never seen this deer until I videoed him a month ago. And then we got a couple trail cam photos of him in velvet about a week after I left, and then about a week ago we got another trail camera of him in full hardhorn beauty. I got lucky, and like I said, less than 10 yards, and good Lord is looking after me, and I know he'll look after me for the surgery, and everything will be fine. But thanks everyone. Thanks again. I appreciate it.